after a freeze. The worst leaks are the ones that you can't see. Before ripping out walls or running cameras, there is one test that every plumber runs. Let's go run it. We're going to run a 15-minute pressure test to see if there's a leak somewhere in the system, even inside of walls. There are two things that we need for this test. First, you'll need to know where the shutoff to your house is. It'll look like this lever or something similar. If you have a gate valve, this test might not work so well. You also need to be sure that it is able to move. These get pretty tight, hard to open if you haven't used them in a long time. You certainly don't want to force it and break it. There is nothing between you and the city water pressure if this breaks, which is pretty much what you're looking at. Although this was a pressure fitting that slipped off, but you can see how quickly the water main trench filled. It's never too late to call a plumber before breaking a seized ball valve. Next, we need a water pressure gauge. Every plumber has some kind of gauge to run this test. Maybe you don't have one, and that's okay. You have something similar you can use right now, already on your house. More on this though, after we run the official plumber's version of this test. You have to make sure that the pressure gauge goes on a hose bib or an outdoor faucet, whatever you call it, after the shutoff. If you have this before the shutoff, this test won't work. Now let's open it. And you'll see that the needle moved to what the pressure currently is within the system. And now I'm going to close the line, creating a closed system. It's like we're at 55 or 56. We're going to take a picture of that right now. We need to compare this with a result later, and a picture is a good way to keep track. If you see an immediate or slower, but still discernible drop in pressure right at the beginning, you already have an answer. You have a leak. I caution you not to panic quite yet. Just double check that something like an ice machine, for instance, didn't just kick on the minute you started the test. Make sure the pressure in the gauge is holding initially. So now we walk away for 15 minutes. The only thing you should not do in the next 15 minutes is to use any water. Otherwise, your PSI, or the pounds per square inch, will go to zero pretty much in a heartbeat. Case in point, someone used the bathroom. It's still refilling. Thanks. Well, this is real life. All right, shut off. Back to our live test. It's been about 15 minutes. It looks like we're holding at 56. But what does it look like if we actually had a leak? Let's try it out. Let's introduce a little drip in the system. That's about 1 drop per second. I'm going to start the test back over. The water is on. Now I'm going to turn it off. And now we wait. I'm going to start a hyperlapse and then overlay our starting point on top. You can see after 15 minutes, we've lost almost 10 psi. There is an obvious drop in pressure. Last but not least, don't forget to turn the water back on. It happens. And that's another panic attack that you just don't need right now. To be honest though, there could still be a very small leak somewhere within the system. You would have to run a longer test to detect that. I do have a video where I go over 15-minute, 1 hour, and 8 hour tests, and I will put a link to it in the description. It will give you an idea what you could be up against. Like I already mentioned, maybe you don't have a water pressure gauge already at your home. Although it's easy enough to get, this one is off of Amazon, $13. In the description, there is a link right to this one. But maybe you're thinking, I don't have 24 hours to wait for a water pressure gauge to show up on my doorstep. You actually already have something on your plumbing, so you don't have to buy anything, and you can test your system right now. This video right here, I go over 3 different ways of doing a water pressure test. It starts out with the quick and free water meter test and includes the pros and the cons that each one of these methods give you. I'll see you in that video.